Hi, my name is Jake. Now let's talk music. Alright, so today is December 15th, and as you can see by the background, I have officially moved out of my college dorm for the semester. Right now it's winter break, and uh, next month of videos will be from here. But yeah, uh, but before I continued on with the J. Cole series, I wanted to do a couple of videos on the albums that came out this Friday. Which, one thing I do want to talk about with this, if you have been watching the last couple videos I put out, I've talked about how I wanted to do like a live reaction, like playing the actual music. I tried to upload that video and it got taken down immediately by YouTube because of copyright. And it was like not even 2 hours after like the album was put out, in like it might have been a little over 2 hours. I tried to upload my video and I get copyright striked, so I couldn't put that up. So instead, I am just doing a regular album review. I mean, I truly, I don't get, like, if I was just doing it for my own benefit or my own good, like playing it during a video just because I wanted to, or me, what I'm trying to do is like put the music out there, like get more exposure for it by doing this live reaction to it. But I, as YouTube sees it, you're just trying to steal what the artist has made, which I can understand that. It's just at the same time, I I'm trying to give more exposure. I'm not trying to steal the content. But anyways, yeah, I couldn't do that, so I'm just doing a regular album review, and by the thumbnail and the video title using I'm doing Missionary by Snoop Dogg. Tomorrow I will have the video up for Skeleton Key by The Alchemist. And then I think those are the only two that I'm going to do videos for. I still haven't listened to the Paul Wall album. I still haven't listened to the Fat Joe album. I listened to the Boss Man D-Lo album. It's nothing crazy. It's just his same sound that he does for every single song he does, and a couple of features that are nothing to write home about. Then you have a Sleepy Hollow album, which it truly was nothing exciting. Like it's mid at best. Like he tried to do a lot of experimenting with like the way he wanted to use his voice and also like the making of the tracks, but it was truly nothing interesting. It's like he was experimenting, but at the same time, it's like the same thing that you've heard from many other artists. It's just the first time that you've heard it from him, so it was nothing exciting, and I don't really want to waste time with making a video about that. Maybe if the Paul Wall or the Fat Joe album are good, I'll make a video about them. But I wanted to make a video for Missionary, and I wanted to make a video for Skeleton Key. So, well, right now, let's talk about Missionary. It I don't know how many albums Snoop Dogg has done, but this is a follow-up album to his legendary G-Funk album, Doggy Style, which it took you over 30 years to get a sequel to that legendary album, but you were like, all right, let's like set this up to make it look like it's a throwback to the 90s or early 2000s West Coast hip hop. Let's have features from 50 Cent, from uh, Eminem, from you also had like Method Man, uh, you had BJ the Chicago Kid, you had um, Jelly Roll, you had Sting, which that was really weird. Uh, Mostly it was a lot to do with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, which those two they created G Funk with nothing but a G thing. I no, the Chronic. Nothing but a G thing was the song from the Chronic. Okay, they created G Funk with the Chronic, which those two like worked together a lot on that album, and then also 2001 by Dr. Dre, and then Doggy Style, which all of those are iconic West Coast hip hop albums. But then you get this, which is supposed to be the sequel, and it doesn't really feel like a sequel. I mean, other than the name and like the name of the artist behind it, if I seen this, I wouldn't think that this would be a sequel to Doggy Style. Like, just straight listening to this album, it doesn't sound like anything like Doggy Style. It has a new inventive kind of sound, I guess, but it's nothing too crazy. I think it's just like Snoop Dogg trying to uh, gain like a following with the new uh, era of hip hop, because he like does like sounds that he's never used before. Like when you think of Snoop Dogg, you don't think of like any of the beats that are used in this. I mean, even Dr. Dre, he was executive producer and had something to do with every single track with the production, and it just doesn't sound like Dr. Dre's music. It just sounds like any random producer could have made this for an album that comes out nowadays. Like, I truly was going into this album thinking, oh, okay, so this is a sequel to Doggy Style. We're gonna get like a old school West Coast hip hop album, but instead you just get this, which is, I mean, it's not totally horrible. It's just, it's really a letdown. I mean, the best part of this whole album is Method Man on Skyscrapers. Other than that, I do like G and Ico on Gorgeous. Um, Out of the Blue is probably the best song, like all around. I would say that's my favorite. But then it would be Skyscrapers. And then when you get to a song like Guns and Smoke, you see the names 50 Cent and Eminem mixed with Snoop Dogg. You're like, oh my god, this is definitely going to be like the best song off the album. And it's just disappointing. You get a subpar 50 Cent performance, and then it just feels like Eminem isn't trying as hard as what he would back then, or even on the album that he put out this year. Like, it it's just like nobody truly put their all into their performances when it came to this album, other than Method Man and Gene Ico. I mean, Snoop Dogg, like, looking at these lyrics, they are definitely not wrote by him. And honestly, I feel like Snoop Dogg is super overrated. Like, other than Doggy Style, I can't name a good album he's made. And then when you think of Snoop Dogg, like, only reason I feel like he got as popular as he did is truly his voice. Like, he has one of the best voices in hip hop, but it's not like he has a super inventive like rhyme scheme or super like lyrical or anything like that. He pretty much talked about a lot of the stuff that other people were talking about. It's just his voice is so iconic that it truly like propelled him into a higher like viewpoint of the whole hip hop genre. Like he was seen as one of the top dogs, one of the best rappers, but truly he wasn't one of the better rappers. He just had a really good voice. And that honestly shows here on Missionary. But at the same time, I'm not going to go super crazy against Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre. I mean, they're getting up there in age. They're way past their prime in music. So I'm not going to sit here and act like they should have just came out like and had like the best album of the year, but at the same time, when you say that you're gonna do a sequel to one of the most iconic West Coast hip hop albums of all time, you just and you put this out, it gets people to the point where it's like, okay, what were you thinking? Like, I don't know. I still have a lot of respect for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and I just feel like they could have kept this one in the vault. I mean, nothing that they've really made recently has been very good. I mean, last project that Dr. Dre did was Compton, I think, and that was all right, but nothing like anything he had put out before. And Snoop Dogg, like I said, I couldn't name another one of his albums that are good other than Doggy Style. I mean, he worked alongside Dr. Dre with the Chronic, so I guess you could say that one, but it doesn't say, okay, the Chronic was made by both Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. But he had a lot of influence on that record. But, I mean, I can look at his discography. It's just, other than Doggy Style, I can't say that there's a good album in here. Honestly, I would say, other than Doggy Style, there's nothing here in his discography that I would say is good. But at the same time, I haven't listened to a lot of these albums. I mean, honestly, other than Doggy Style and Missionary, I haven't listened to a Snoop Dogg album. So I can't talk too much, but just looking at them, they don't look very good. I mean, I have heard of the Mac and Devin Go to High School, like the music from that movie, which him and Wiz Khalifa, they I forget the song that they did together, but it was pretty good. Oh, Young, Wild, and Free. That was a good song. Other than that, I don't really know anything else about this discography. Yeah, honestly, it's just I. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but at the same time, both of these artists are way past their prime, and I'm not gonna ask too much out of them. You know, I'm just happy that they actually put out a piece of work, and there are some salvageable tracks on there. Like I said, skyscrapers, gorgeous. There's a couple of others, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. And I already closed Spotify on my phone, so yeah. The- It's like a hit or miss, which like songs are good on there. But yeah, um, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna be here for the about next month, and I'm gonna continue doing content. I'm not gonna stop just because I'm moved back into my house for a month. I'm still gonna be doing content. I mean, I'm doing this video right now. Uh, but I I think I'm just gonna edit and get this video put up, and then tomorrow night I'll record the skeleton key video. which I don't know how y'all are gonna like that one. I just know I personally love The Alchemist. And when I listen to it, Rock Marciano, he has a pretty good voice and has a really good rhyme scheme. So, yeah, I'll talk about it more once I like actually make the video. But yeah, I after that I'll probably do the off season by J Cole and then my delete later. Then I'll start to like figure out where I want to go from there. Like I know there's like all the Grammy albums that I want to do, but I don't know. We'll see when I get there. But yeah, that's really all I got left for this video. Uh, until next time, peace.